Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do some baking. So these 3 recipes that I'm going to do are super simple and they're quick. So if you're in a rush and you need something to bake, maybe friends or family or whatever, yourself, then these are some good recipes that you could do. So I've got the recipe up on my laptop. I've actually never made this recipe before, so if it doesn't turn out nice, then that could be why. So the first recipe we're going to do today is a peanut butter chocolate chip cookie, and it only has 5 ingredients and it's super quick by the looks of it. So yeah, so you will need 1 cup of peanut butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, half a cup of chocolate chips, 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 egg. So first we need to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, so after we have preheated the oven, we need to mix all the ingredients together except for the chocolate chips. And then when blended, mix through the chocolate chips. So let's do that. And a teaspoon of baking soda. Now I'm just going to mix that through with a wooden spoon. Okay, I've blended it all through and I'm actually kind of nervous because that does not look like cookie dough. But we're going to go with it. So I'm just going to mix through the chocolate chips now. So now we have mixed all the ingredients together. I'm going to get a baking tray, put some baking paper on it and roll the batter. It says not to make them too big because they do spread a lot, so we will be sure to do that. Cookie tray, baking paper, baking paper on cookie tray. Ew, it's so sticky. So I'm rolling my balls about this size. Okay, so I've made the cookie dough into these little balls, and now we're going to put them in the oven for 9 minutes. Okay, I've got the cookies out of the oven. They did kind of, you know, yeah. So I'm just going to transfer them onto the tray, and that's literally all you have to do. It was so simple and they smell amazing. Do this. Okay, so the next recipe we're going to do is also super easy. We're going to make a pavlova. So what you will need for this is 6 egg whites, but don't worry, we are going to use the egg yolks in the last recipe. A pinch of salt, 1.5 cups of caster sugar, 3 teaspoons of corn flour, a teaspoon of vanilla essence and a teaspoon of white vinegar. Then for the top, you're going to need 300 ml of cream and whatever fruit you want to put on the top. I'm just going to use passion fruit pulp because I prefer that the most. So the first thing we're going to do is preheat the oven to 150 degrees Celsius. Okay, next what we're going to do is get a baking tray. I'm just going to use this one, and you just got to line it with baking paper. And what you can do with your baking paper is just draw a circle about 20 centimeters wide and then put it circle side down in the tray, and this will just give you a guide of where you put your pavlova in the tray. So that's my circle, and I'm going to put it circle side down because we don't want to consume any ink. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put in the egg whites into the electric mixer, or you can use a beater, it doesn't really matter. And then just going to put in a pinch of salt and just whisk that until soft peaks form in the egg whites. So then all you do is add the sugar a half a cup at a time and just mix it for a minute after you've added each half a cup. Okay, so then now we're going to add another half a cup and whisk that. Okay, so once you've added all the sugar, you just want to mix it for 3 minutes to make sure that everything, all the sugar and egg whites are all combined. Okay, so now we're just going to, in a separate bowl, combine the corn flour, the vinegar and the vanilla essence. So once you've combined them 3 ingredients, you're going to want to put it into the meringue and mix it until it's just combined. Okay, so once we've done that, literally all we're going to do is just grab our baking tray and just put it on where we drew the circle, and smooth the edges and the top of the meringue. Okay, so once you have put the meringue in your tray, you want to turn the oven down to 130 and then put it in for an hour and 15 minutes, and once it is cooked, leave it in turn the oven off and leave it in there until it completely cools. Okay, so I just turned the oven off for the pavlova and I'm going to leave it in there until it fully cools down. So while we're waiting, we're going to make our next recipe, which is Portuguese tarts, and this is to use up all of the egg yolks. Okay, so what you will need for this recipe is 130 grams of sugar, 4 tablespoons of corn flour, 6 egg yolks, 300 ml of cream, a cup of milk, 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 6 sheets of thawed puff pastry, and some nutmeg and icing sugar for sprinkling the top of them. Okay, so you're going to need a muffin tin, and you can line it with baking paper, but I'm just going to spray it with some oil. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is grab a pot. Okay, so in the pot you're going to put in your egg yolks, sugar and corn flour. once you put them ingredients into the pot, just whisk it up until it's smooth. So once your mixture looks something like this, you're going to gradually mix in your milk and your cream until it's smooth. So once you have mixed all the ingredients together, you're going to put it on the stove on a medium heat. Once it's on the heat, it's important that you continuously mix it, stir it, because it might take a while to thicken up, but you don't want it to scramble, so be sure that you continue to stir it. Okay, so I've been stirring for maybe 10 minutes, and you can see it's starting to thicken now. Okay, so once it looks like this, you can go ahead and add your vanilla essence. Okay, so basically we've just made some custard that will go in the tarts. Okay, so once we've done this, we're going to transfer it into a separate bowl and cover it with cling wrap and let it cool completely. I'm actually going to put it into a separate bowl so it cools down quicker. Okay, so in the meantime, while we wait for the custard to cool, which I have put in the fridge now just to hurry up the process, we're going to take our puff pastry and cut each piece into quarters. Okay, so now that we've got them cut in quarters, we're just going to flour the bench top. Okay, so then what we're going to do is take the one of the quarters, and we're just going to roll it up into like a cylinder shape. And then we're just going to put it on the bench like this and literally just push it down. And we're just going to make circles. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect. Okay, so when you're making these circles, you want to make sure it's about 10 centimeters in diameter. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so once you have that, we're just going to put it in our pan. Okay, so once you have put your puff pastry in your patty pan like this, and your custard has mostly cooled, you're just going to spoon the mixture into the puff pastry and then sprinkle the top with nutmeg. Okay, so once you have put the nutmeg on the top of your tarts, you're just going to make sure the oven is at 190 degrees and put them in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so once you get the pavlova out of the oven, literally all you have to do is whip the cream. When you're whipping the cream, be sure that you don't whip it too much because we're not making butter, we're making whipped cream. Depending on how much cream you want on the top of your pavlova is how much cream you whip. Okay, so once you've whipped your cream, you're just going to put it on the top of your meringue. And if your meringue has cracked like mine, don't worry because the cream will cover it up. So that's good. No! Oh! Okay, so once you put the cream on your meringue, mine kind of looks a bit, you're just going to grab whatever fruit you want to put on the top. You can even put chocolate if you want, but I'm just going to put this passion fruit pulp on the top. Okay, so once your tarts are cooked, just be sure that you let them sit in the tin for about 10 minutes before you transfer them to a different plate. Okay, so once you have put them on another plate, you can sprinkle some icing sugar on the top to serve them, just so they look nicer. But yeah, that's about it. Literally that simple. So if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, that would be great. And also if you did enjoy this video, let me know and I'll be sure to make more cooking videos like this. So yeah, bye guys.